the genre that you're attacking, even if it's hip hop or not, you have to be great in that. You have to be at least good, only if you're willing to turn.
The dynamic between Lil Wayne and Drake has long captivated the hip-hop world, first as mentor and protege, then as potential rivals. Their bond was built on loyalty and meteoric success, but for years, it seemed to dissolve into a puzzling silence. Fans buzzed about an apparent rift, but neither artist spoke up. Until now. So what exactly happened? What turned the tide between them? Let's dive into Lil Wayne's headline-making comments about Drake, the moment that sent fans into a frenzy. First, let's take it back to where it all started. Before whispers of a feud, before last year's heated rumors, we need to know how these two powerhouses even crossed paths. Surprisingly, their first meeting wasn't the smooth storybook introduction you might expect. In fact, without one determined individual, Drake's entire career trajectory could have taken a wildly different path. That individual was James Jazz Prince, the son of James J. Prince, the legendary CEO of Rap-A-Lot Records. Jazz Prince was the first to see something extraordinary in Drake, long before the rest of the music industry caught on. He wasn't going to let even Lil Wayne overlook the budding Toronto talent he'd discovered. Picture the late 2000s. Drake was gaining attention on MySpace, dropping fiery mixtapes, and proving that a rapper didn't need to hail from New York, Atlanta, or Los Angeles to make a serious impact. Back then, Drake had already dropped Room for Improvement and was polishing his second mixtape, Comeback Season, but he hadn't yet landed that big break. He was still grinding, hustling to get his music heard by the right ears. That's when Jazz Prince entered the picture. Stumbling across Drake's tracks, Jazz knew immediately this guy was a star. His voice, his flow, that seamless mix of melody and lyrics, it was rare. Jazz wasn't about to let Drake's talent go unnoticed. Determined to get the right people on board, he reached out to his close friend, Lil Wayne. But here's the kicker. When Jazz first played Drake's tracks for Wayne, the response was underwhelming. Wayne didn't see it. He dismissed Drake as just another aspiring artist trying to break through. But Jazz wasn't ready to give up so easily. The very next day, while driving Wayne to a jeweler, Jazz took another shot. He didn't just play any random songs this time, he carefully chose 3. Replacement Girl, A Milli, and Brand New. Something about Brand New caught Wayne's attention. This wasn't just another rapper, it was someone with the potential to shake up the whole scene. In that moment, Wayne decided he needed to talk to Drake. Jazz made the call. Just imagine, 1 minute you're grinding, putting in endless hours to get noticed, and the next, you're on the phone with Lil Wayne himself. It had to feel surreal. Not long after, Jazz arranged a meeting between the two in Houston, but this wasn't going to be just a casual introduction. Wayne had a plan. As soon as Drake arrived, Wayne got straight to the point. He didn't waste time chatting. Instead, he invited Drake to jump on the remix of Briscoe's Man of the Year. This was Drake's first chance to rap alongside Young Money artists. It was his moment to prove he could hold his own. Drake delivered a killer verse that left Wayne seriously impressed. And that's when the real mentorship took off. Wayne didn't just bring Drake into the fold, he made him a priority. He gave Drake a prime spot on his Thaw Carter tour, which wasn't just a friendly favor. Wayne saw in Drake a reflection of himself, a raw talent destined for greatness. He was determined to help Drake reach the top. Signing him was just the start. Wayne made sure Drake had every tool and opportunity to thrive. Wayne brought him on tour, featured him on major hits, and offered crucial industry advice. Over the years, Drake has never hesitated to pay tribute to his mentor, calling Wayne the GOAT time and again. It's clear that the bond they share goes beyond music. The respect and gratitude Drake feels toward Wayne runs deep. But let's imagine for a moment. What if Wayne hadn't listened to Jazz Prince? What if he hadn't given Drake that second chance? Sure, Drake had the talent, but would he have reached the same level of global superstardom? It's tough to say. Wayne didn't just give him an opening, he flung wide doors that few could access on their own. Wayne put Drake on the biggest stages, handed him the most sought-after collaborations, and taught him lessons from one of the most influential figures in hip-hop. That's why, even today, Drake continues to credit Wayne. Without him, who knows what path Drake's career might have taken? Of course, no partnership is without its challenges, and theirs was no exception. For years, fans speculated about tension between Drake and Lil Wayne. Whispers of a secret falling out spread, but the truth was elusive. So, what really happened? What was the turning point that brought their relationship into question? Some still believe that Drake and Wayne's bond is indestructible, while others insist that something big, drove a wedge between them. Their relationship had seemed like the perfect mentor-protege bond: trust, mutual respect, and the undeniable truth that Lil Wayne was the one who gave Drake his big break. Wayne brought him into Young Money, nurtured his talent, and helped shape him into the megastar we know today. But what if I told you it wasn't always smooth sailing? One shocking moment, a single revelation, put their friendship to the ultimate test. The incident was deeply personal, completely unexpected, and even Lil Wayne admitted it cut him to the core. The devastating truth? Drake had been secretly involved with one of Lil Wayne's girlfriends while Wayne was serving time behind bars. Yes, you heard that right. And when Wayne learned about it, still locked up, it hit him harder than anyone could have predicted. It all went down in 2010. Wayne was serving time at Rikers Island for gun possession, separated from the world while his Young Money empire kept thriving. Meanwhile, Drake was blowing up, releasing hits, selling out tours, and firmly establishing himself as a dominant force in hip-hop. But behind the scenes, something was unfolding that Wayne had no clue about. During a prison visit, Wayne received news no one would ever want to hear, least of all from someone he considered family. Drake, the very artist Wayne had mentored, had been involved with one of Wayne's girlfriends. And the kicker? She revealed it had happened before she and Wayne ever got together. Still, the sting of betrayal was sharp and immediate. Years later, Wayne recounted the moment in a book proposal, expressing how deeply it hurt. Imagine being in his position, confined in a cold, isolated cell, unable to confront anyone face to face, grappling with a sense of betrayal from someone he had trusted implicitly. At first, Wayne was understandably crushed. Wayne admitted that it hurt. Not because it was Drake specifically, but because it was anyone. The thought of someone being with his girl while he was stuck behind bars stung, plain and simple. But here's the thing. Wayne isn't like most people. Instead of clinging to anger, he chose to see it as just another harsh reality of life. In a 2016 interview, he opened up about the incident saying, "Oh, I wasn't worried about that. That's just how life goes when you're locked up. Now I remember though. Yeah, he whopped. I know who he whopped though. When you in jail though, even your side is your main." It was Wayne's way of saying, when you're locked away, the world doesn't stop. People change, circumstances shift, and even those you think you can trust may surprise you. His words made it clear that, while it stung, he saw the bigger picture. He understood it even if it left a scar. But here's the twist. While Wayne openly addressed the matter, Drake remained silent. No interviews, no cryptic lyrics, no tweets, nothing. Maybe Drake knew that no explanation could undo the past. Perhaps he realized that some boundaries once crossed can't simply be redrawn. Instead of speaking out, Drake took a different approach. In 2010, he dedicated himself to something else entirely, praising Lil Wayne. At every opportunity, in every interview, on every stage, Drake made sure the world understood just how much Wayne meant to him. He credited Wayne with changing his life for taking a risk on him when no one else did. Some saw it as genuine gratitude, a heartfelt tribute to the mentor who gave him everything. Some speculated that Drake's effusive praise wasn't just about admiration. It was an attempt to make amends, a way to rebuild trust and prove that, despite past mistakes, his respect for Wayne remained unshaken. Regardless of the motive, the message was loud and clear. In 2010, Drake made sure everyone knew that there would never be another Lil Wayne. Long before GOAT debates lit up social media on a daily basis, Drake had already taken a stand. In a Rolling Stone interview, conducted just a month before Wayne's 8-month Rikers Island sentence began, Drake opened up about his deep admiration. He called Wayne one of a kind, a true legend who could command attention the moment he entered a room. That sentiment set the tone for the rest of the year. As a young money signee, Drake didn't just admire Wayne, he idolized him. He made it known that he was Wayne's biggest fan and that no one else compared. When Wayne began his prison sentence in March 2010, his absence left a noticeable void in the rap world. For the first time in years, the self-proclaimed best rapper alive was silent. But Drake wasn't about to let that silence linger. Drake's interviews were filled with praise for Wayne. He didn't just talk about himself, he talked about his hero. He called Wayne his mentor, the reason he'd achieved so much, and made it clear that he wasn't trying to take Wayne's place, but rather hold things down in his absence. It wasn't just words either. Drake wore shirts emblazoned with Wayne's face, mentioned him in video messages, and made sure Wayne's presence was still felt. Even Drake's mother, Sandy Graham, got in on it. She appeared on camera, sending love and gratitude to Wayne and acknowledging how much he meant to both her and her son. Drake made every effort to show Wayne that, no matter the circumstances, his loyalty and appreciation hadn't wavered. His words of respect weren't confined to interviews, he carried them into his music as well. Drake's debut album, Thank Me Later, was filled with tributes to his relationship with Wayne. On Fireworks, he voiced his hope that success wouldn't change the bond they shared. On Miss Me, Wayne himself delivered a message of confidence, reassuring Drake he could carry the torch while he served his time. And on Show Me a Good Time, Drake made it clear. Wayne was more than a mentor. He was family. But was this overwhelming admiration purely genuine, or was there more to it? Drake never directly addressed the swirling rumors, but some couldn't help but wonder if his relentless praise was partly a way to atone for past mistakes. He surely knew about the whispers, the questions surrounding what had gone on while Wayne was behind bars. Instead of engaging with the speculation, Drake seemed to drown it out, flooding the narrative with respect and admiration. Wayne didn't appear to push it away. From prison, he made a surprise call to wish Drake a happy birthday on live TV, reminding the world that their connection endured. And when Wayne finally walked free, he stunned everyone by showing up on stage with Drake in Las Vegas, sending fans into a frenzy. The reunion seemed to signal a return to normalcy. But while Drake's efforts kept Young Money's fire burning and bolstered Wayne's legacy in his absence, some wondered whether good could ever truly mean the same. Things may have appeared to smooth over, but as time went on, cracks began to show. When Lil Wayne dropped a verse on Saturday morning, the industry took notice. Though he didn't call Drake out by name, the pointed message left little doubt. Tensions were bubbling beneath the surface. When Wayne dropped the bars, "I'm a goat, you a sacrificial lamb, you a teddy bear, you a Teddy Graham," fans wasted no time connecting the dots. It sounded like more than just wordplay. Wayne was reinforcing his legendary status while hinting that Drake had been left to fend off the industry's battles on his own. But what did Wayne mean by these lines? Let's break them down. By calling himself the GOAT, the greatest of all time, Wayne was stating what many already believed. But then came the twist, calling Drake a sacrificial lamb. That phrase carries weight. It suggested that Drake had been thrown into the fray, left to handle the fallout of his feuds without any backup. And then the Teddy Graham line. It wasn't just a cute pun. Drake's real last name, Graham, made the jab personal. Subtle or not, Wayne's word choice didn't seem accidental. So how did it come to this? How did the man who once championed Drake as his brother and protege now seem to be taking jabs at him? Things only got more complicated when Wayne made another move that fans found hard to ignore. He dropped a new track with Rick Ross. Under different circumstances, a Wayne-Ross collaboration wouldn't be a red flag. But considering the history, it felt like a statement. Rick Ross and Drake's on-again, off-again feud stretches back to the Meek Mill ghostwriting debacle. More recently, Ross publicly sided with Kendrick Lamar in his ongoing beef with Drake. By teaming up with Ross, Wayne seemed to be signaling that he wasn't going to take Drake's side in these ongoing disputes, and it didn't stop there. Wayne stayed silent as Drake's conflicts with Kendrick, The Weeknd, and Ross continued to escalate. For fans paying attention, it felt like Wayne's actions and his silence spoke volumes. No words of encouragement, no public support, just a profound silence. For someone who once referred to Drake as family, that lack of acknowledgement speaks volumes. It begs the question, why? Wayne, who built Young Money on loyalty and brotherhood, seemed to have shifted away from his closest protege. But what caused this drift? One possible explanation is that Wayne wants no part in the drama that surrounds Drake. As much as Wayne is a hip-hop icon, he's also a businessman. Associating with someone embroiled in constant industry conflicts might not be in his best interest. Another theory? Wayne might believe that Drake isn't the same person he once took under his wing. Drake has grown into a global superstar, forged his own path, and created his own empire. It's possible that the dynamic they once shared has changed, leaving their bond weaker than before. And of course, there's the chance that Wayne still harbors some unresolved issues. Maybe those old wounds haven't entirely healed. Whatever the reason, Wayne's actions in recent years have only added to the speculation. The most noticeable shift isn't just in Wayne's words or lack thereof, it's in their overall distance. For years, they were inseparable. Wayne and Drake moved as a unit, showing up together at events, standing side by side backstage, and appearing together in countless photos. Wayne was more than a mentor to Drake, he was family. Then suddenly, that bond seemed to fade. They stopped showing up together. Mentions of each other disappeared from interviews. Wayne, the figure who once championed Drake's career, was nowhere to be found when Drake needed him most. Every year, Michael Rubin's White Party brings together music icons, NBA stars, and Hollywood's elite. In years past, Drake and Wayne would show up together, their bond on full display. But not this time. Both attended, but they didn't interact. Not one photo, not one moment suggesting they even crossed paths. For two artists so closely associated, this was strange. And that strangeness didn't end there. Fans were quick to notice that something felt off at Wayne's concert. When he took the stage, the speakers blared Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us, a song widely regarded as a diss track aimed at Drake. At first, some speculated it was a coincidence, maybe just a DJ's choice. But when it played again, it started to look intentional. Then, during a performance of The Motto, a track Wayne and Drake created together, Wayne repeatedly shouted, "They don't like us!" What could have been a simple chant took on a whole new meaning. Was Wayne just vibing to the beat, or was this a subtle message? The doubt lingered. And if that wasn't enough, Wayne made a bold move that turned even more heads. While Drake was embroiled in feuds with Kendrick Lamar, The Weeknd, and Rick Ross, Wayne's actions left fans stunned. He appeared in a music video for H1 GHR, standing next to The Weeknd and wearing an XO chain, the symbol of The Weeknd's label. To a casual observer, it might not mean much, but in hip-hop, symbols carry weight. The XO chain wasn't just jewelry, it was a statement. Wayne, whether intentional or not, was aligning himself with The Weeknd, someone widely considered one of Drake's most high-profile rivals. Then, The Weeknd publicly thanked Wayne for his support, and just like that, the quiet murmurs became full-blown speculation. Wayne wasn't just absent from Drake's side, he seemed to be standing with the very people who were undermining him. Was Wayne simply exploring opportunities with other artists, hoping to stay clear of Drake's escalating disputes? Or could there be long-hidden tension between the two, finally bubbling to the surface? Whatever the truth, one thing is undeniable. When Drake needed him most, Wayne was nowhere to be found. Drake has always been a powerhouse, dominating charts, shaping trends, and leading conversations. But now, he's at a crossroads, facing some of the hardest challenges of his career. His feud with Kendrick Lamar has left fans split. His fallout with The Weeknd has shaken Toronto's music scene, and the industry allies who once stood firmly in his corner are either quiet or worse, seemingly taking sides against him. Rick Ross, a frequent past collaborator, has publicly aligned himself with Kendrick. The Weeknd, once seen as a close ally, has drawn an unmistakable line in the sand. And Wayne, the man who once declared Drake the future? He's been silent, or, depending on how you interpret his actions, louder than ever. It could all be a temporary rough patch, or maybe they're hashing things out behind the scenes. But in the world of hip-hop, silence isn't just absence, it's a powerful statement. And right now, Wayne's silence is deafening. That's why, when Wayne finally spoke up in 2025, the world took notice. The long wait was over, and his words just might hold the answers to everything fans have been wondering. Reports are now emerging that Lil Wayne has finally opened up about his falling out with Drake, and the news has left fans stunned. According to insiders, Wayne didn't sugarcoat his feelings. He reportedly admitted that their relationship has changed, suggesting that fame had a profound effect on Drake. "Fame changes people," Wayne allegedly said, adding that sometimes it becomes clear that not everyone who starts with you is meant to stay. These remarks hit the hip-hop world like a thunderclap. Fans had long suspected tension between the two, but hearing that Wayne reportedly used the word toxic to describe Drake was more than anyone expected. Coming from someone who once regarded Drake as a brother, it was a jarring revelation. The exact cause of the fallout remains uncertain. Some think it stems from Drake's mounting industry feuds. Others believe it's more personal. Either way, the implications are clear. Their once unshakable bond now appears fractured beyond repair. Could this be the prelude to a full-blown feud between two of rap's biggest icons? Or is there still a chance for the two to patch things up? What's next for these hip-hop giants remains a mystery.